Hi guys, it's Alex or Alexandra, whichever you prefer, from the Talent Innovation Hub. This is our fourth installment of CPL live streaming. I've got Fwang here beside me because I'm really nervous. Am I red? I feel red. Anyway, I'm going to talk a bit about learning languages. And you see, it's really important for us at the Talent Innovation Hub and the APAC team that, we're multilingual, because we work with Facebook CO position, and all of the CO roles actually have a second language. So, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. So Chloe talked last week about the CO role, and she's saying that how important the language is, and it actually is really important for oh my god, there's so many things on the screen, I'm so nervous. Okay, so it's really important for you to learn languages because it actually keeps your brain sharp because you're exercising your brain by studying a lot. It's also supposed to keep you more open-minded according to studies on the internet that I've read. I've actually learned Spanish, Irish and Japanese. So I started learning Irish when I was about maybe 6 years old, and I stopped when I was 18. And then I learned Spanish in school when I was 13 to about 22, and then I started learning Japanese when I was 18, and I'm still learning Japanese because it's a really hard language and I have to keep going. So my tips for learning languages, my first one is if you can, which is not exactly possible for everyone, but go to college, because that's where I learned Japanese, and I learned Spanish in school and in college, and it really helps because you have lecturers that actually help you and teach you how to study and tell you everything that you need to know, basically. But if you can't do that, maybe a part-time course or even just an online course. There's plenty of online courses that you can do, like Rosetta Stone. And the second one would have to be immerse yourself in the culture as much as possible. So I've actually been to Spain so many times, like on holidays and stuff, and it really helps. Like my parents would push me to speak to Spanish people, order in Spanish, or like even just eavesdrop on people, which is kind of bad, but that's what my parents told me to do, and it did help with my Spanish a lot. I've also studied in Japan for 10 months, and I was an English teacher in Japan for a year, so that was great as well. I mean, obviously being around Japanese speaking people who don't really speak English was a great help to push me to actually study and do what I had to do. So my third pointer is to repeat everything, just repetition, especially with a language like Japanese, like Asian languages where the alphabet is so different, like with the kanji, like Chinese, Korean, Thai, everything is so difficult when it's a different language, different than Roman characters. So if you just keep writing it over and over and over again, yes, it can get boring and tedious, but it's the best thing you can do. Honestly, it sticks in your head so much. I used to just get my kanji book for Japanese and just write hundreds of characters over and over again, and it stuck. It really did. My fourth pointer is, notes again, use different apps and websites. So my favorite website is definitely Memrise. Have a look there, Memrise, the top one. It's brilliant. It has everything. It doesn't just have languages, but it's really useful for languages. It can actually pronounce things for you, and you get to put in the different sentence word order. You get to type it out yourself. It'll give you, for example, in Japanese, it gives you the how to say it, and you write in the kanji. It's brilliant. The other apps I have are, the connection's weak. They're Duolinguo and HelloTalk. So Duolingo is pretty much the same as Memrise. You get to choose the word order, pretty much pronounce things. And then HelloTalk is actually where you speak to different people from different countries. So it's got pretty much every language on it. You just put in what language you want to learn, and people start writing to you if they want to learn the language you're learning. So for example, if you want to learn Turkish and there's a Turkish person that wants to learn English, you can converse to each other. It's great. It's a great way to make friends too. So my final pointer is make friends, of course. So I actually made a load of Japanese friends when I was in Japan. I keep in touch with them through Skype and through Facebook, and that helps me study. It's also great to make friends online. There's a couple of websites. Sorry, here you go. It's conversationexchange.com and mylanguageexchange.com. So those websites, you just go online. You can talk to people even if they're not in the country. You can just talk to them on Skype. You can talk to them through Facebook, anything. It's brilliant just to keep your mind focused on the language, it's better to have friends that kind of, give you a push to do things. Because if you're doing it on your own, it can get really hard and kind of boring and lonely. So it's best to be like, oh, I really want to talk to people. This is the best way to do it. So I see there's a lot of comments actually. If you have any questions, just type your question and I'll have a look. So, oh my God, there's so many things here. Hi Fong, you're sitting beside me. Thanks Adarsh for the comment. Hi Saeed. Hi Miki. Hi Omar. Hi Amit. Oh, thank you, Chloe. I don't feel beautiful. I feel really red in the face, but okay. Please type the websites below here later. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll put Memrise, Duolingo, HelloTalk, Conversation Exchange, and My Language Exchange all on my Facebook page, so we can share them later. So, Fwang is actually doing that for me too, but I'll do it again later. So, do you have any questions? I don't know what else to say until you ask me questions. Boop, boop, boop. Anyone love me enough to write a comment? Oh, a question, yay. Thank you, Chloe. She says, hi Alex, question. Have you had any boyfriends from Japan or any other countries? I heard that is very useful. Okay, I haven't had any Japanese boyfriends, but if you do have a Japanese boyfriend, be careful because sometimes the language can be a bit different for boys and for girls. So if you are dating someone from another culture, just make sure. But I have had ex-boyfriends from other countries in the past, so I have learned a little bit of Tagalog and a little bit of Polish. Not much, but there you go. Yongrang, thank you. Have you had any difficulties when you were learning different languages? Of course I have. It's only natural. Sometimes learning languages is not for everyone, so you have to try different approaches. My first big mistake was when I studied in Japan for the first time, for the 10 months. I didn't speak to anyone. I was too nervous and I was not confident in my abilities at all, and I didn't talk to anyone. And then by the time I was going home, I was like, oh no, what did I do? I've wasted an entire year. So when I went back to Japan then, I made the most of it. Also, difficulties is not having enough time. For full-time workers, it's very hard to get actually into studying, especially so when you're so tired after work, after a long day. So the best thing that you can do for that is probably just even study on the bus. I mean, most people have an hour commute into work every day. You can study on the bus, or even on the weekends, just Skype your friends in a different country, or even go for dinner with a friend from another country. Like, make friends on Conversation Exchange and meet up. It's the best thing you can do. Okay, Kenji, what mistakes did you make when learning a foreign languages? Oh, I pretty much covered that one with my whole, I didn't actually, talk to people, which is the biggest mistake you can possibly do. My ultimate advice is just be confident, do what you can, just try, basically. Everyone is so understanding. I mean, for example, whenever I speak to non-English people, if they come up to me and they make mistakes, I know they're trying, so I know that it's hard, and I don't make fun of them, of course, that's just so mean, but I help them along and I say, okay, but this is a better way to phrase that, and most people will do that for you, honestly. So, what else? Should we focus on one language at a time or learning multiple languages is advised? I'd say it depends on the languages. There's a lot of languages that are very similar. So, like the Romantic languages, like French, Spanish, and Italian, they'd be all kind of similar, but at the same time, it might be easier just to focus on the one until you're pretty much an expert, and then, try your hand at something else, because if you do try more than one, you might get a bit confused. Like talking to an Italian person, you're speaking Spanish might be a very bad idea. But like I said, language learners, you're understood, it's fine. So any more questions? Oh, everyone's thanking me for thank you. Any more questions? No. Okay. Okay, well, in a couple of weeks anyway, my colleague Fwang, who's sitting beside me again, she'll be on the CPL Live. She'll be doing interview tips. So make sure you... Oh, there's another question. Any place you recommend for English courses? Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, there are. There's a lot of places in the city centre. I've seen them. There's a lot on Dame Street, actually, and a few on Capel Street. There's actually, I think it's called First Education, and they focus on language, English. So there's a lot of different cultures in there, like Spanish and Italian and French. So they do a lot for English. Okay, so yeah, back to Fong. She's going to be here in a couple of weeks, and she's going to be talking about interview tips. So thank you for tuning in. I'm so red in the face, but see you again. Bye.